Okay, hey guys, we're gonna go back to our Darren and Devin example here. Sorry if you saw another video in between. I tried to start the stream and it wasn't working. But we're going to actually do the income statement in this one. So now at this point, we've already done a whole other video on how to keep track of your cash flow. We're gonna use some of the numbers from the cash flow in our income statement. So if you didn't see the video on the cash flow and you don't know how to do that, then you can go back and watch that other video first. Okay, so again, I had outlined in pink all of the purchases that they were making, and I outlined in blue all of the sales that they were making. So as you guys know, you're starting out with $20. So I'm going to go through on my income statement each of the things, but the first, we're starting out with our $20, and the very first thing Darren and Devin do is they purchase $6 worth of ingredients to be able to make their cupcakes. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my other paper here. I have already all the stuff that we calculated for Darren and Devin in the last video, and we will use it, so I'm going to go back and forth up to the top here. But what the first thing we should do for our income statement is I'm going to write start for myself here above the, before I actually write a date, and I'm going to put a balance of $20. Okay, but I'm actually going to highlight this for myself right away because I don't want to forget that while I have $20 here, this is not $20 that I'm making. This is $20 that was an investment in your project. You're not making any profit off of this. You're just starting out with $20 to work with. You've gone over this in design already, so I'm sure you know how this works, and we went over it in class, but the $20 is an investment in your project. It is not a profit. So you need to start somewhere to be able to buy stuff for your project. Okay, so the first date, Darren and Devin on November 10th, they're making a purchase. So I'm going to do this one in pink since we were doing it. Purchase. Okay, they're buying mix. If you want to write beside what your purchases are for, that's fine, but you don't have to. So if you're purchasing cupcake mix, or whatever you need to buy for your project, you should be keeping track of that in your journals, okay? But you're making a purchase of $6. So that's not a sale, it's not a donation, that is an expense. So I'm losing $6. Okay, so over here in the column that's my balance, I'm not gonna add to the $20. Here, I'm subtracting. So I'm losing this $6. So I do 20 minus 6. My new balance after that is going to be $14. Okay, because I spent $6 on cupcake mix. Then you guys know after that, which we were doing in the previous video, that on November 15th, it's the first time they're doing sales. So Darren and Devin sit somewhere and they do a bake sale and they sell a bunch of cupcakes, and we did all of the calculations for that in the previous video, so I'm not going to read the statements again. But if you go back and look at your cash flow, we had calculated the total sales and we had kept track of the donations. So if you look up here from November 15th, I had $25.50 as my total sales plus $1 for donation. And we actually already know the total of that is $26.50. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and put those in here in blue. So I have for sales, for my total sales for that time, I made $25.50 plus $1 of donations. Okay, and then as I'm going here from $14, I'm not just going to put $26.50 in here. I'm going to do 14 plus the $25.50 plus the dollar, so plus $26.50. So you end up with a balance after your first sale of $40.50. Okay, so in this first case, your number, which from your balance at the top, from your cash flow box, and your number here are the same. That's only because the first time you had all of your money in your float, okay? So you only had $14 and all of it was in your float. After that, though, as I was saying in the previous video, you're taking some of the money out of the cash register and not keeping it in there. So these numbers are not necessarily going to follow underneath, okay? So don't keep, like, we are still going to use the total sales and the total donation, but the balance from here does not necessarily flow with the balance at the bottom, okay? So if we go back to our sheet, so after the first night of sales, November 15th, it says that on November 18th, they purchased cupcake molds for $2.25 and other ingredients for more cupcakes for $5.48. So they can make more cupcakes. And they use it to make 24 more cupcakes, which they're using for the second bake sale. If you add up the $2.25 and the $5.48, you get $7.73 right here. So this is a purchase. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my income statement. Okay. So on my income statement, so I write the date. So it's November 18th. Again, I'm going to write it in pink so that I know that my pink is my purchases, and my purchases are numbers that I am subtracting. Again, if you want to write what it is, you can, but you don't have to. So they have an expense of $7.73. So that gets them more cupcake mix and more mold. Okay, sorry, cupcake molds. So that money, when you go from $40.50 and you're spending $7.73, this is not something that you're adding. Here, you're subtracting that amount of money. So if you do $40.50 and you subtract $7.73, you should end up with, and you can pause them and calculate if you want to, okay? You should end up with $32.77. So notice here that my number now has nothing to do with the numbers that are up here at the top, okay? So it was only the first time that number was the same. Now we're going to go forward and add in, so that was November 18th. Our second night of sales, which we already kept track of at the top, so I'm not going to go back to the other paper. So our second night of sales, November 19th, we do sales again. We have our figures from the top, so we know we sold for a total amount of $37.50 plus $4 of donation, which was $41.50 of profit. So here, I'm going to add my $37.50 for my total sales. I'm going to add up my $4 for donations. And so now my balance here, this is going to be added to my $32.77. So I'm adding $41.50 from up top. My total amount of profit is going to be added to $32.77. So if you do that calculation, you should get $74.27. Okay, I still have one more purchase and one more sale that I have to add in here. So after that, I'm going to go back to my purchase sheet since we don't have that information on here. My information sheet. So on December 8th, they purchased more ingredients for $5.98. So they make more cupcakes again. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so this is the last purchase I have on here. So I'm going to add December 8th. I'm going to add purchase. So I'm doing those in pink to keep track of the fact that I'm subtracting those numbers. Purchase of $5.98. So I'm not gaining that money, I'm losing it because I had to spend it on cupcake mix. And that is going to be subtracted from my $74.27. So if you do that, calculate that, you should end up here with $68.29. So I'm going into my last evening of sales with that amount of money. So I go into my December 10th sale, which I have at the top here. So on December 10th, I made $31.50 in sales plus $1.50 donation, which is a total of $33 that I'm going to add to my balance. Okay? So December 10th, sales. So I'm going to have $31.50 here plus $1.50 here. And it's going to come out to, when you add this, you're going to have $101.29. Oh, wow, you can't even see anything I'm doing. Okay, sorry about that. So on here, so what I did was I added the $31.50 from up top, plus the $1.50 in donations. So when you add that total amount, the $33 to your $68.29, you should have a total of $101.29. Okay, so you can add these columns up, so you can have your total sales, your total expenses, and your total donations. And it's gonna actually kind of like balance out here. It's just the only thing you have to factor in that, like, these columns, when you calculate them and this balance, you're still gonna have this extra $20 that you had from the start. So that's not calculated in any of the three columns because that was an investment. So that's not actually part of your like total amount of profit that you're making on your business, because that was an investment that you had at the beginning. Okay, so we're going to talk about that's not going to be part of our revenue. So we're going to talk about that as we go on and how to calculate we do have a couple of other financial statements that we have to take care of, but I wanted to make sure you know how to do these ones before you start doing your sales. And I know many groups are starting tomorrow after parent-teacher interviews. So I'll post these videos for you. Tomorrow we're going to see the showcase for the IB projects for the older students tomorrow during class. But if you have any questions, you can come see me, and you can actually come see me during parent-teacher interviews if you're confused about it, or we can fill in the statements together afterwards. Okay? Have a good night.